principles with the responsibility of moralizing the society. How effective are you outside the church building?
Maya Angelou said, when you know better, then you do better. Ambazonians watch Ethics for an Emerging Ambazonia every Friday at 10 p.m. Amba time.
Exclusively on ABC Amba TV. Stay tuned.
From the
A man may work from dusk to dawn, but a woman's work is never done. Undoubtedly, moms deserve to be celebrated because they are always putting others ahead of themselves. Mother's Day is the perfect opportunity to stop and reflect on all of her hard work. Of course, Mother's Day isn't just a day for celebrating your own mother. It's a day for honoring all women in your life who support and nurture you, from your sister to your grandmother. It's also a chance to wish a happy Mother's Day to the mothers in Ambazonia who are bearing the brunt of the war. Sometimes, the best way to thank Mother Ambazonia is with a simple and heartfelt message. Not all of us can write like Shakespeare, and it can be difficult to put our feelings into words. That's why we're calling on all women, men, old, young to say Happy Mother's Day by getting a copy of the book Echoes of Women's Tears. Echoes of Women's Tears is one platform.
Sorry for that mix up. Greetings to the people in the house. Welcome to Ethics Commission. Ethics for a developing nation, for an emerging nation. I can see my people right inside there in the house, and I want to say welcome to this particular program, and God bless you largely. Well, it is time, just 5 minutes after the hour of 10 p.m. in Amazonia, and we are all here to do something very, very fundamental and make a recapitulation to what has been going on and what is going on, because I see that the people of the house are real here. All right, we'll go ahead by asking each one of you to say hello to the people of Ambazonia before we take off what we have today. So over to you, Dr. Titanta. Is he there? No, that's not Titanta.
Yeah.
That is Dr. Ndola. Dr. Ndola. Dr. Ndola, please, can you go ahead and greet the people of Ambazonia and greet the audience that is sitting in, watching and getting ready to be blessed tonight?
Yes, good evening, fellow Amazonians. Good evening, Pastors Victor and Commando and Comrade Tansi. 21 gun salute to all our freedom fighters, our Ambazonian Restoration Forces on the home front, who are bearing the brunt of the fight with La Republique, and to all on the home front, and to all our refugees also, and those in the dungeons they call prisons in La Republique. I'm Tom Dula from Babisi LGA in Gokutunja County and Vice Chair of the Ethics Commission. Today we are here to talk about what has been happening all this while with our 13 counties presenting themselves on the ethics for an emerging nation and saying how they conduct ethics in their counties and how they endeavor to do it. And we are here today to recap all of that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll cross over to Mr. Who is okay? Go ahead,
Peter,
sir.
is that
Please
Peter Tansi?
Repeat Atansi.
come again.
Yeah, I'm Comrade Peter Tansi, yeah.
Yes, Titans here. Go
Are you
ahead.
people getting me?
Yes, we get you. 5 and 5.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I'm Comrade Peter Tansi. I come from the Bamedankwe LGA in Mezam Division, Mezam County in the Midland Zone. Welcome, greetings to all our televiewers, those on Facebook, those on YouTube. You are highly welcome. As we said, I am the ethics person for Bamendankwe LGA. We are here to recap what the counties said around. So you are highly welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Reverend Dr. Victor, welcome and say hello to the people of Ambazonia and the entire world that is watching Ambazonia in this very special duty of implementing and talking of ethics during war, during a genocide. Over to you, sir. Greet the people of Ambazonia.
Thank you, Reverend Commando. Thank you uh, for being our host today. We're grateful for what the Ethics Commission is doing. We want to just thank the government of our President Sako, for creating, in the midst of war, an Ethics Commission which had undergone a tour of the 13 counties. And today we just came to give a little analysis of how effective or how the tour went. It's quite challenging that in the midst of war, we can have a country that is able to create an ethics commission to be able to bring some morals or promise the morals that will be implemented in the new emerging country called Ambazonia. And so it's my pleasure to be on the program today. My name is Reverend Dr. Victor Mba from Mogamo, LGA, and I want to welcome my fellow panelists to the program today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Reverend Dr. Victor. And it is Comrade Peter Tanshi. Yeah, I was mixing your name. I just jumped out from somewhere and I said, let me come in and then we talk together. Well, we are welcome. Before we go ahead, I just want to remind the Ambazonian people that today, the 5th of August, 2022, we are again on this for an emerging nation, and our mission is to build a nation rich in social values, preventing and resolving conflicts of interest in the government. And that is what the Federal Republic of Ambazonia is talking about. And today, the feed, after we have gone round the counties, the 13 counties, and we actually picked up one of the departments of the government of Federal Republic of Amazonia, the Women's Social Affairs. We had to talk to them on their ethics, and we are about to get into other departments like the judiciary, like the interim House of Reps, and to find out how these ethics will be implemented in this particular house. And so for today, after going around the 13 counties, you are here, gentlemen, to give us some remarks by the Ethics Commission in conclusion of the tour of the counties that we have had. And so in our panel, as you have already heard and you have already seen, we are four of us here. There is Dr. Tom Dula, there is Reverend Dr. Victor Mba, and there is Comrade Peter Tanshi. And with no more ado, after their introduction and greetings to the people of Ambazonia, sorry, I forgot to greet the people of Ambazonia. 21 gun salutes to the people of Ambazonia and all of you on home front. That is the ethics we are practicing. That when you forget to do something, you should make a corrigendum and ask ask an apology. So I apologize for just getting into introducing all these great men that are going to be talking to us without greeting you. Again, 21 gun salute, and then greetings to the President of the Federal Republic of Amazonia and all the institutions that make up Amazonia. And with that said, I will just go ahead and ask Dr. Tom to tell us about this ethics. And please, immediately you finish, without me coming in to actually coordinate again, Dr. Comrade Tanshi should go ahead and then just tell us the remarks and what you're saying. And then we get back to Dr. Victor to tell us the remarks from this commission at the end of this talk. All right, so the microphone is yours, Dr. Tanshi. Dr. Tomdula.
Thank you, Pastor Commando. Welcome again, fellow Ambazonians, on this show. As the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, as our constitution was created back in 2017, I believe in Zaria, as it was drawn up, the three arms of government were the executive, the judiciary, and the legislative. For the judiciary, it was the Ethics Commission, which stood as the judiciary, as the main commission there. So we are included in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Amazonia. Not to belittle the Judiciary Commission. The Judiciary Commission is very active and strong under the able leadership of Barrister Mbesea, Timothy Mbesea. But now we are the Federal Republic of Amazonia, have our government in exile. We have no courts to judge people in. We have no prisons to put culprits in. We have no police force to get criminals behind bars. For that, we have our ethical guidelines. We have the Ethics Commission working hand in hand with the judiciary in order to help resolve disputes and in order to instill some civility and sense of good governance and accountability in the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, starting with the governing structure. So according to our AMBA Peace Plan, each LGA and each county is to have an ethics commission. And we of the Ethics Commission have been working to see to that, and we have a chat site with reps from virtually all the counties. They have now to be reconstituted because some of them became coup plotters, and of course, already being a coup plotter is something unethical in a revolution. So we were honored to have all those counties come along and present their ethics commissions or how they intend to build them up. And I must say I was very impressed at what we had to hear from them. Many of them, they have reps, ethics commissioners, and some of them are still to be constituted. And we will see to that be done as fast as possible. Now, in our revolution, especially with some few individuals trying to create parallel structures and derail the struggle, which of course they cannot succeed in that. The people on the home front, they know whom their leader is. They know that the People's IG, headed by President Samuel Komesako, is the IG that is approved and respected by the people. And when lockdowns are called upon, when people are told to do something, then they listen to the people's interim government. And all the 13 counties and the 61 LGAs and all our Ambazonia Restoration Forces genuinely fighting for our liberation are answerable to their LGA and county heads, who are in turn answerable to the federal government under the leadership of President Samuel Komesako. So in all the counties, in all of them, without exception, this was the message that came across, that they are solving their solving their problems in an ethical manner, following the guidelines of the Federal Republic of the Ethics Commission of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Of course, still has to be made better, but they are starting to do that. And that is very, very encouraging. And it is very, very important that we know the Constitution and the ethical code of conduct for Ambazonia. That way you know your rights, you know that you can stand up to bullies. Nobody can come and tell you anything. Everybody in Ambazonia has the right to his or her own opinion. And everybody is considered innocent until proven guilty. That is the common law on which our constitution is based. So those are the things that we heard from the counties and from senior comrades like Barrister Tim Mbesea from the BLM. He could tell us how ethical issues used to be resolved during the time of the governments of Foncha, Endele, Joa at the time, and how things were done in a very ethical manner, and how problems were resolved also with our people from the east, with La Republique people, in which we were at the time in an unholy alliance called the United Republic of Cameroon. First of all, the Federal Republic of Cameroon. I mean, a nightmare from which we have freed ourselves now since the declaration of our independence by former President Sisiko Julius Ayuk Tabe. So all those things came together, and it was a very, very good presentation of the counties, very good tour of the counties. Then we could see where it is lacking, where they don't have ethics commissioners and functioning ethics commissions, and all those will be rectified now. So that is what I can say for the beginning, for the start, about what transpired during those county presentations. And we are very thankful to all those who took part and came online on ABC Amber TV to present their ethics commissions. Thank you.
Okay, I think now let me just check whether you're hearing me and our viewers. If you are, then
We
our
hear you
viewers
fine
are
and
getting
fast.
me too. Okay.
We
Now, okay, for the county tours, I was impressed that some of the counties used the past, what used to happen in the past, that they would resurrect most of these things in the past, and then bring it when we have our country. Examples they quoted was in those days, most markets had a lost tree in the market, a lost property tree in the market. If something is lost, you mainly they went and put it under that tree, and then people could, if you got something lost, you went home. When you came back, you just go under that tree to see whether that is there. So that was whether your property was there. That was really consoling. Now different attitudes being adopted where things are lost. Now you might not find it, and then the one which was called the ethical behavior of the policemen in those days. Police were like your friends. Um, they would question you in such a way. It's not an intimidating way, not a way to extort money from you. They would ask how they could help you and all that. Unlike now, the police is like a policeman is like a threat to the population instead of making the population feel secured or feel secured in or safe in approaching a policeman. It's not a matter of approaching them to take bribe or something. So those were some of the things which were quoted by some of the, which was very nice. I I was also impressed that even now, as we are during times of war, as you know, a group of people come together. There is always some sort of friction or conflict of either personality or interest or misunderstanding. Some of these counties had problems just running the county as it is, and they had to use ethical method to try and solve it. One of the LGAs, they really asked the executive to resign, and they put in an ad hoc committee which was running the affairs of the county and resolving the problem until when that was happened. And then when that was completed, the new executive was elected, and that was that. So this shows that LGA is really trying to bring some very ethical methods in trying to resolve conflict when we don't really have a police or a court now. So that was a good example. And in one of the problems, it really made one of the LGA representatives really resign before the election took place. So that was really nice. So learning from the past or only learning we being trying to be different. One other one was which I learned was that one of the counties were really using the Geneva Convention. The Geneva Convention is equivalent of ethics in society. That is like ethics in war. wartime. They really use this to talk to their ARFs in the background, memorandum of understanding between them and the ARFs, which was a summarized form of the Geneva Convention. I also found that very interesting, which is it's good, it's a thing. I think all counties should do this in the background with all their ARFs, so we can do that. That's really good. Some of the counties also said, "Oh, okay, they have more to learn, but when they get to Boya, they would be ready to work hand in hand with the National Ethics Commission to put ethics in all departments, health, sports, media, all that." The one idea that came through, which we had also discussed, was the idea of whistleblowing in the different departments, which is good. So those were the things I picked at despite the fact that they didn't do extensive research as we do before we come to any particular program. A good number of them were on the good path of getting there. So if they really did research on programs, or it would have really been much better. Those are the few things, positive things that I got. Maybe on the second round, I would also mention some of the things that I feel if we have not yet reached Boya, we should do when we go round to county. So I'll keep that for second round. So that's me. I think we can go to Dr. Pastor Victor.
Yeah, thank you so much, Peter.
So that's
And
me.
thank
I think
you.
we can go to Dr. Pastor Victor.
I don't know why there's that repetition again. I don't know. That's why I was just pausing. All right. Maybe somebody was playing on his phone. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Tom Dola, and thank you, Comrade Peter. It's been a pleasure to be with you all on the panel today. Looking into the program that we just ended doing the tour of the counties and the LGAs, well, I think both of you have almost exhausted most of the things we look at and most of the things we discussed. But let me digress a little bit to look at some of the things that I don't know where the rumbling noise is coming from. To look at some of the things that we found out that we could upgrade or we could make better. When we look at the fact that the census we had asking LGAs and counties if they had a copy of the Constitution, we discovered that many did not, or a copy of the Code of Ethics, the Code of Ethics for the Amazonian people. We discovered that many did not have. So I think the Ethics Department is making plans to see that maybe before the next tour, they will be able to identify all the ethics department heads of the various counties and be able to see that they have a copy of the Amazonian first the Constitution, then also the ethics code, so that it will help them to be able to reach out to many. It will help them to be able to
No,
reach
go ahead.
out.
Sorry for that.
Yeah, it will help them to be able to reach out to other congregates within their LGAs. Now, looking at the successes of the tour, like Brother Peter have just said from there, we might come to what we need to amend and put together for in the future for a better tour. But I want to say that some of the things that we saw in the tour that actually could remind us of the Amazonia of the 50s, even before our independence and before this illegal union with La Republic. We discovered that in those days, our country was so organized that they will send inspectors from the Ministry of Public Health to the villages to see that toilets and the roads were clean, and that the compounds were clean. You know, just some kind of ethical behaviors that our forefathers had put in place in those days. You know, they used to call these inspectors sanitary inspectors. They will come out there to see how villages were being kept clean, toilets were being kept clean, compounds were being kept clean. And sometimes they will even inspect your source of water. If you were just carrying water from any kind of a nearby stream, they would like to inspect it to see how clean it was. And this was really helping to keep our people up and going in health. We also discovered that our road system, we had a 24-hour road maintenance from PWD. PWD was one of those departments that had enough caterpillars and tractors and everything that it would take to maintain our roads. Our roads were not kept to be maintained in particular seasons of the year. Our roads were maintained every season. And so we saw that we miss all of those, we miss all of those. And another thing that I really could see that the ethics resonated in this program was we look back our life as Amazonians, and we saw that, ironically, which is not what it's supposed to be, we were better in the 50s than we are now in the 21st century. And that is very sickening and sad, because I remember when I had the last interview with the FACO chair or the FACO representative on the Ethics Commission program that day, and I was asking him, I said, let's talk about the police system in our country and the corruption that is there now. How can you weigh it with those who saw our police task force stand on our roads, go out there and put law and order, and we're not collecting bribe and corruption, or we're not corrupted? And this guy was really almost crying, telling me it was an excellent country at that time when our police officers would stand just to see that there is peace, there is law and order, and there was nothing like kickbacks or corrupting them for any reason. And another thing that I brought out was he able to see? I read in the primary school reader 3 or 4 about Tico Airport, Tico Seaport, and all of these places. And the guy said even also as a child, he went to these airports. He saw them. He saw the Tico Seaport. Now, these are things that when we look at the fact that we don't even have these things anymore, when other countries are aspiring to have this, the question we ask ourselves is, of what benefit was our joining La Republic? Was it to destroy us, or was it to keep us moving forward? And so we discovered that it is the lack of ethics, lack of manners, the ability to have a human feeling, a human heart for others that brought us to where we are, because our entanglement with La Republic destroyed all these institutions. And once upon a time on one of my programs, I asked the question, did La Republic really have to destroy all the good things we had in order to assimilate us? Couldn't you just assimilate us, or couldn't you try to assimilate us still maintaining those things? If this was not sheer wickedness, why were you there to destroy the airport, destroy the seaport, destroy our power camp, destroy our Cameroon Bank. These are things that we see that it is because of the lack of ethics in the La Republic country that make their wicked acts transpired into our place, and they water down all the ethics that our fathers and our forefathers had laid the foundation. I woke up and saw tar roads, for God's sake, in Manfi. I woke up and saw tar roads, pieces of tar roads in Batibo. I never knew how. Instead of us advancing now, things are instead going backward. And for those who still sit out there and advocate that we should be one Cameroon, my question to them is, what have we gained in these past 60 years from being with La Republic? Instead, we can enumerate tons of things that we have lost, that have perished, that have been destroyed. Why? Because the nation of La Republic, they have no ethics. I remember even in my days when I grew up, I studied in Nigeria, came back, and I was looking for a job in Cameroon. One of the part-time jobs I even had was to go around the various schools in Bamenda, teaching moral instruction in schools for free. But I don't even know whether moral instruction is still being taught in these schools. So the Bible, that was one of those books that we used to create, that gave ethics to our people, is totally thrown off. Nobody cares about things like that now again. And so we are telling the people of Amazonia that we need to fight to get our nation back, because we are sick and tired staying with this corrupt nation of La Republic. And we need to get back to, give us back the countries our forefathers kept in the 50s. We will make that country become an envy of the world today. And so as we speak here, we're trying to assure Amazonians that we are fighting to give our people a better nation, a nation that is full of ethics, a nation that will be able to respect one another. Some of us are here in America. The politics of America have taught us that if you desire to become a senator, a parliamentarian, or anything in politics in your future, don't mess up your life. Don't go around on drugs, on cigarette, alcohol, womanizing. Don't do those dirty things in your youth age, because by the time you go in for an office, those things will pop up on your name. That is an indirect way to maintain ethical manners in a nation. And we are promising the people of Amazonia that you will enjoy the new emerging Amazonia. There will be no corruption. There will be no bribery. We look forward to a nation that will be an envy of the world, where you get a position because you married it. Where you get a job because you married it, not because you have a godfather that you can corrupt and give him money. And so these are some of the things that we discussed during these past weeks. And in fact, maybe I'll come back to talk about the things that we in Mogamo look at to improve when we get our nation back sooner than later from now. But thank you so much for giving me the audience. That is a little rundown on some of the things that we look at during the ethics tour in the different counties. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Reverend Dr. Victor. Thank you very much, Dr. Ndula. And thank you very much, Mr. Tansi, Comrade Tansi. The recap and the appraisal of all that you have said, it gives me the notion that our ethics on this platform and from the different counties was not falling on deaf ears and was not going in vain, that people benefited. One of the characteristics I noted with all the counties, which makes us unique and makes Ambazonia very different, is that a number of the people who came in to talk on behalf of their LGAs and on their counties and as Ambazonians as a whole did mention what we were before La Republique came in with their tricks to try to get us out. They did mention the sanitary in those days, 1949, and those Germans and those British guys who used to wear short knicker and then a very hard round cap, which they are using today for motorcycle. I mean, it was not as that of motorcycle, but something like the cowboy's cap, you know. And it was wonderful. It was wonderful. Then I heard one of you remarked, which is very clear, that what we have today is Ambazonia is worse than who we were in those days before La Republique came in with their tricks. And that is very, very sad. But the joy and the comfort in all that you have said is that we are building a nation that will seek to go back and revisit the history of the former glory, and then the glory of that land in this new generation will be more than the one that we're grouping in darkness without the development and the technology and the civilization and everything that we have today. And so we are simply saying that Ambazonia is getting back to its former state and more. Those of you who heard about the Tico Airport, the Tico Seaport, the Victoria Wharf, and so on, the one that is going to be built this time around is going to be modern. And so we want to thank all of you for coming in to talk to us about the one single mission that the 13 counties carried out and made it very clear that we are all one Ambazonia. All the division and the ploy of La Republique through France to divide and conquer us has failed, and it is failing. So we are going to go back into the studio. All of you, we are getting back into the studio, and I'm going to give you also, we still have some time to round up today, but I'm going to give each and every one of you 5 to 10 minutes to exhaust and talk and talk and talk, because today we are actually making a recap of what had happened in the 13 counties. And please, if you can recall any of those things that you can mention, just go ahead and do it. All right, over to you, Doctor. Just like we have done now, yeah, you
All
just
right.
go back and do the same round. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Commando. I mean, we cannot talk about ethics and about ethical behavior without mentioning some key figures who um, embody this behavior and have been very good examples to us. One person comes to mind. There are, of course, many since the start of our revolution, when they were called, our leaders were called up station in Bamenda, and they tried bribing them, giving them money, and they refused. And they just like in the Federal Republic of Ambazonia of old, in former British Southern Cameroons, where corruption was practically zero, they stood tall and went to prison, went to exile. And one of them, one main figure is Patasang, whom, of course, among many others, who stood the test of time and are shining examples of this right up till today. Uncorrupted, not bribable by the La Republique people, and not changing his stance. So we honor you, Patasang, with all those who are with you over there, hanging out in there. and we will see each other in Boya soon. There is one person who foresaw all this. I talk about our first president, Dr. EML Indele, who in the late 50s, as our first president, there was a democratic election. He lost and then happily handed over to our second president, Dr. John Gu Foncha. He said things that would happen if we joined La République du Cameroon, as we were forced in this unholy alliance at the time. I'll take just two of his quotes here. He cited why we should join Nigeria at the time. Well, we didn't really want to join either La République or Nigeria. We wanted independence, but it was not given us. So I will read two of those reasons. He said, but if you vote for Cameroon Republic, you will invite a new system under which everyone lives under fear of the police and the army. You will not be free to move about. You cannot lecture freely or discuss your political views in public. You must carry your tax receipt round your neck like a dog. And you can be arrested and flogged by the police and even imprisoned without a fair trial. And then the second one, does that ring a bell? Those are the things that happen in La République today. And the second reason that he gave many, 10 of them. I read just two of them. He said, but under the French system, you cannot have a fair trial. Anyone accused of an offense in the Cameroon Republic is manhandled and flogged and is generally treated as a guilty criminal. Even the most junior policeman there seems to have the power of life and death over the common people. This is a bad system and must be rejected by the voters. That is what we call lack of ethics, utter lack of ethics, and that is what we've been experiencing for over 60 years with La République du Cameroon. And enough is enough. The time has come now. Our eyes are open, our minds are open. We know our history, we know who we were and who we will become, and are already practicing that now, albeit in exile, but very soon on the home front. So those were quotes from Dr. EML Indele, our first president, the man who saw the future. And those things are happening exactly in La République as he taught them. So we are here to tell Amazonians things will revert as they were, very ethical, very civil, very humane, as it was in the former British Southern Cameroons. So support our cause, not just on social media or whatever we say, or I've sent money to some people in the home front. Go under your LGA and under your county. There you can make the difference. You can participate in government building, in decision making, and you can participate in helping your suffering people back home. Those are the people bearing the brunt, facing the bullets daily and dying for our freedom, we who are here in the diaspora. So go register under your LGA, under your county, and pay your dues, draft, and support ABC Amber TV, and pay your compulsory independence tax, your CIT. Thank you.
Thank you,
All right.
Dr.
Thank you very much.
Ndula,
Thank you very
for
much,
that update.
Sorry, is somebody speaking?
Yes, Comrade Tansi.
Oh, okay, Comrade
Yeah,
Tansi.
so we're just to relay. Okay, so as a thank you for that remark, as I said in my first remarks, some of the things which I think Pastor Victor has already mentioned is give out those documents now. I'm happy he says it's in planning that we would distribute it out. So I'm very happy about that. One of the things which I remark and I see we can do better was the next time maybe some sort of training session instead with our if we are not yet in Boya, some sort of training session so that we can take all the other things, that is ethics in sports, ethics in economy, ethics in leadership, ethics from the population point of view, those very detailed things, and bring them up. If not, another alternative, which I also think is since these programs exist out there, the ones we've done already, they are either on YouTube or they are on Facebook, is to encourage counties and LGAs during their meetings. They should just pick one, 5 minutes each, um, and give a summary for their general meetings. This because it's this ethics thing is mind. It's changing our mind. It's changing our time frame. So the changing of the minds of the leader is very important. So during their meetings, they should take 5 to 10 minutes and go each on each one. That is also another option of really changing our leaders first during this time. But considering what was said by the different um, counties, I saw that ethics in hospital also featured very highly on what they said, what the hospital professionals should do to the population, that is to the patients really, which was very important. So it seemed hospital also featured very well in that, how doctors should not be abusive to parents or to pregnant women, which that was really good. I don't know what happened in the past. I don't know whether medical staff were abusive to mothers who were trying to give birth, but it happens now, so we shouldn't condone that. One other thing was local economy. I really saw this from the Momo from the Momo leaders. They said how ethics would be used in the local economy and to revive it. Things like letting people specialize in either producing palm oil or different parts of it, or granules. That was really good. And then to be able to use ethics to market these products out. One of them was in Donga Mountain. They said, oh, their soil is very fertile in cocoyam. They produce it not in large quantities, but if they could produce it in large quantities and then encourage the population to produce it in large quantities and then export um, to counties like Mezam, where they consume it in large quantities in form of achu, that would be promoting the local economy. So that was like thinking forward, using either cooperative to help the economy, which was, I saw that very good from that side of using ethics to promote the local economy. I just used those two counties, which was really good. So the other other thing is to I'm just as Dr. Ndula has said. Those of us who are listening to us, please, you are be in your LGAs, register in your LGAs because that is a way forward, and draft because that is what we would use that money in ethical forms of either for communication, we use it for diplomacy, contacting around the world, we use it supporting our ARS of Ground Zero with the help of um, Geneva Convention from their behavior. So that is a bit what I gathered much in that round, and my appeal to the audience too, to help us shorten this war of restoration of independence by drafting and joining our LGS. Thank you very much. I think I will hand over now to Dr. Pastor Victor.
Thank you. Thank you again, Comrade Peter and Dr. Ndola. It's again another wonderful opportunity to just stir hope in the lives of Ambazonians to know that what we are in for is for a better tomorrow for our people. Dr. Ndola, I will appeal if you can post those things you were reading about here in to our forum, the ethics forum. I really love to have those because I was very touched when I heard just the two you read to see that our former president or our president Ian Indele had echoed some of these things that we are suffering from today. Well, we are here to encourage Ambazonians to say that we believe that nothing that has happened to us has been out of the knowledge of God. And God knew that we will be the generation of those that will rise up to say, let this be corrected. And I think as much as we may look at France, we may look at Britain, we may look at Germany, and even the United Nations and all of these countries, I am also persuaded that in these places, there is a generation of different leaders that are going to say, we cannot continue to be quiet in the midst of this. I believe that the world have tested our resilience, and they have seen that we cannot we cannot bear the injustice. We cannot bear the lack of ethical manners that we have suffered from the French Cameroon government. And I think as much as the world may think that, as much as Ambazonia may think that the world is not watching, I want to still give faith and believe that God is touching leaders in the American government, from the president to the Senate to their Congress to the British House of Lords to the British House of Commons, even to the same United Nations that had played a deaf ear. I believe that God is doing something, and that this time around we are going to emerge victorious, because I think they say he that begins with a lie will continue to lie, because there is no way when you start with a lie, you want another lie to support another lie, and you have to look for another lie. And that is what the Republic has been doing for all these years. And I think the world is sick and tired, and God himself is sick and tired to see this kind of cruel and a very dubious nation that we got ourselves entangled with. Going back to our ethics, let me say that Peter echoed some of the things that I was going to echo about Mogamo when we spoke about this. And we said that we have discovered that there are many sources of income in Mogamo, but one of the disturbances have been no industrious mechanism to make this form of this different form of income to be very productive to the people. Like you talk about palm oil, like you talk about the palm wine, you talk about the cocoa, the coffee. These are things that are produced in mass number in Mogamo, but we don't have the technical know-how to be able to preserve it. I believe if God had given the palm nut or the raffia palm where the white mimbo is tapped from to the Western world. Somehow they may have already by now discovered how to preserve it. And I want to assure the people of Mogamo and the people of Amazonia that it doesn't matter what county you are and what is the cash crop. I see a lot of people produce a lot of tomato in Santa, they don't know how to preserve it. I believe that some of the things we are going to really do to better the lives of Amazonians is to bring in experts, to bring in mechanisms, chemists, and different industrious people that would teach us or bring us the technology that will be able to preserve these things, to be able to boost the moral and the economic power of the various LGS and the various counties. To be candid, I have heard is it Pastor Commando or is it Ochemba who have always said, block the road going to La Republic. We have nothing we are taking from them. There's literally nothing that we take from La Republic into our land. But block our borders for food, for things not to get into La Republic. They will starve to death because their food comes from us. Many things that come from us into them. Our oil, our palm oil, and the rest. Even our palm oil from just my weedy cum there can supply the whole of Amazonia without a problem. Talk less of CDC and all of that. So there is really nothing. If you shut our borders today, we're going to cry that where we miss aid coming from La Republic. Nothing comes from there to us. And so for those like, I know in this program we have some ethics not to call names and stuff like that. But I think sometimes for people to get the picture clearer, we just need to call names, not to abuse them or not to say some kind of sarcastic thing against them, but just to say that even people like Agbobala, who went and was crying to say we want an Anglophone president. My question to Agbobala is, are you really saying you cannot be a president for Amazonia? You must be a president for La Republique or in a nation that is joined with La Republique. This is the same naivety that Niger Fundi showed throughout. Oh, we don't want to just be a president. I don't want to just be a president for Amazonia or for Southern Cameroon. I want to be for the entire. Yet you can never be for the entire because the system has already irrigated you to the background that you can never. This is the same ethical problem we are talking about. The Yaoundé mafia has already set the system in a way that an English speaking. Let France is the one that put this in place. Let America know this. Let Britain know this. Let Australia know. Let the other countries of the world know this, that it's already a system put in place that true democracy will never be practiced in La Republique when we are still with them with Amazonia. And so when you advocate, when you go out there as you call yourself a human rights advocate, and you saw the injustice that is done to your people daily, yet you go out there to say these things. What do you want us to think? The only thing that we could make us draw a conclusion is that the very ethical issue we are talking out here, you have been corrupted. You have been corrupted. For there's no reason why an intellectual like you were in America a few months ago to receive an award, yet you will go out there to support a lie that you know that cannot be true. You will never be a president for La Republique. Agbobala know that. Your predecessors, Mafani or Zimusenga, who is in jail, these are people that work so hard, yet they never please the Yaoundé regime. And yet you stand out there shamelessly to say that, oh, let them give an English-speaking president. The system does not pay me that. The very corrupt system of La Republique does not give you that leeway. You can cry there till next winter, from winter to winter. None of that will ever be respected. And this is the problem we have with this revolution. The problem we have in this revolution is the same, this issue of ethics that we are talking here. If our people were not ethically corrupted by La Republique regime, I bet you we would have been already in Boya by now. I don't know why my screen just went blank. Are we still on the air? Are we still on the air? All right, thank you so much. Pastor Commando said we should have 10 minutes, right? I think I'm just trying to use my 10 minutes. Okay, I was saying that This
Go ahead,
issue
go
of
ahead, Reverend.
Okay, I was saying that this issue of ethics that we are addressing now is the problem why we are still where we are in this revolution. Because if our people were not merged together to buy this corrupt atmosphere or this corrupt manners from La Republic, we will long be gone. We will long be gone. It all began with our forefathers, from the Funchals to the Mooners and to all of those in those days that allowed themselves to be corrupted by Yaoundé or by France. And you would think that we have learned from the Muna, we have learned from the Funchal, we have learned from the Indele. You would think that we have learned from these our forefathers, not to allow ourselves to be corrupted. But yet, in this 21st century, we see ourselves suffering abroad, building other people's economy, working hard in different nations around the world. And a moment comes when we should take over and fix our own country.
And just hold on, eh? Just hold on.
People like the Anus, people like the Cometans, people like the Mariantas, people like the Achuayabas and the Akwangas will go to collect money to destroy the same thing that we have been crying for many years. This is the shortage of the ethical conduct that we are talking about. Because I can bring my Bible one day. If any of these people have called their name, can swear on this Bible and said, I am free, I have not collected a dime from La Republic, then let what I'm saying affect me. Let what I'm saying, let God judge me for that. But if it is a truth that we are suffering, we have seen this years upon years, how they beat our people. The same thing Dr. Ndola just read there, how with the French system, look at how our legal minds, our lawyers were disgraced by sang-along police and gendarmes in Boya and Bamenda. Their robes and their caps thrown on the floor and smashed. Because what? The system in power and an illiterate military person not to value your position in society is the same as Bobala, that his robe was rubbed in the mud. Yet he has been into the Yaoundé prison where the corrupt people come out of there. Instead of standing for his people, he now says we can get one government. This is shameful. This is shameful. And this is the ethic we are talking about. People like this will be really penalized in Ambazonia. Corruption and bribery will be penalized more than even killing, because these are the kind of people that will destroy the nation we are trying to build tomorrow. When we talk about the Anus and the Cometers and the Mariantas, what are they doing? The same thing. You think Anu does not know that what he's doing is evil? But because of the chicken change corruption that he has collected from La Republic, he would prefer to destroy this thing. And how will you even, can you ever go back to that very La Republic or Ambazonia after you destroy this? Like I gave the revelation yesterday, Ayaba has no intention ever going back to Ambazonia, because he knows that the dirty game he has done with La Republic, if he goes there, even La Republic himself that he has been treating with, they will destroy him. Because they know that one day he will release the truth of what really happened. So talk less of Anu. Anu is talking like this to come and let him go and bury his brother. Look at how shameful they bury his brother. Yet it's the same person you sold, or it's the same people you corrupted, you allow them to corrupt you to destroy this government or to destroy this revolution. But one good news I have for them is that no matter what they do, they have failed to see in the eyes of God, in the lenses of God, that it is the moment for our deliverance. It's the time for Ambazonia to come out of this mess that we have been in with La Republic. And so no matter whoever they buy even the United Nations Secretary General, buy whoever you want to buy. When God's time will come, if it means God to eliminate some of those people to die, for the image of Ambazonia to be preserved, God will do that. You can buy, you can sell whatever you want to sell. But let me tell La Republic, when that hour of God will come, how long was apartheid in South Africa? How long did people suffer in apartheid? How long was slavery in America? See, everything that has a beginning has an end. Whether it ends in their era or not, one day the slavery we have worked for La Republic will come to an end. And by, this time around, it has to come to an end. Because it doesn't matter who you buy, it doesn't matter who you corrupt. We want you to understand that These are the very ethical manners that we are trying to fight against in the people of Amazonia. And it's shameful that it is the same people. It's a Bobala who stood in Boya and practiced and said, we'll know tomorrow, or when I was sitting by me, they stood, we'll know tomorrow who control Southern Cameroons. And the same you now, you went to jail, come back from there, you're a different person, you corrupted. Now, even if you took the money, why don't you stay you quiet? Can they force you to talk? Yet you will still go out there. Well, you have to do that anyways, because in doing that, you betray yourself. You tell the people of Amazonia exactly what position you find yourself in. And so that is why any black leg that is being exposed is in the will of God. The Buthelezes of South Africa needed to be exposed so that when Mandela will take power, he will know where to put the Buthelezes. The same thing is happening now. All the sellouts of our revolution need to be exposed. Ayaba is no more afraid. I see people who come out and say, oh, we should be talking about Anu and not Ayaba, because Ayaba is already known. All of them need to be talked about, because there are still some weak-minded people who don't still believe that Ayaba is corrupted. And so we need to talk about all of them. And this is the ethics we are trying to talk about, that we need God-fearing people. What is ethics? Ethics is simply doing the right thing. But people see something in red, they call it black. You see something in white, they call it blue. That is the manner that we are talking about that people don't have. And we pray that Amazonians, I bet you, with what we are suffering now in this revolution, be reassured that there will be a very solid Amazonian that will be built, which will be built on righteousness and holiness, which is the ethics that we are talking about. Thank you so much, Reverend Commando. You may take it over. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Thank you very much, gentlemen of the Ethics Commission for Amazonia. I think this is not just talk. This is actually action, in the sense that all of you who are talking here, your records, if anybody wants them to be put out there in the public, they will be put out in the public. Well, we have somebody on the online, and he has been very patient, and he wants to contribute before we continue. Hello, caller. Thank you very much for your patience. The microphone is yours.
Hello, Pastor Commando. Can you hear me?
5 on 5.
So I want to appreciate what you are doing with Pastor Commando and the rest to educate our people.
And Dr. Dula and
Oh, Dr. Dula, yes, perfect. I want to appreciate you people. And I want to tell Homefront that now is maybe like close to midnight or 11 something. And you see people in the diaspora, they are up trying to educate you, which means that we are not also sleeping in the diaspora. Let not one man fool you. Ethics is what we call the truth, is righteousness, and that can only be guaranteed and justified through practice or action. So sometimes someone might come and say, I speak nothing but the truth, and they go out there and do the contrary. We have seen people, they say they are fighting for Amazonia. At the same time, they are instead killing Amazonians, kidnapping them, and all those people. So they don't have ethical values. So our people need to make a difference between actions and words. Yes, actions and words. You people spoke there about Apopala saying that someone Anglophone should be a president and whatsoever. When Fundi won the election, Emma Bazin said they don't want an enemy in the presidency. It is not an issue of an Anglophone being a president that will solve us. Our problem is that we were a country and we made La Republic to form a federation of two states of equal status. And our problem is not against Paul Biya. It is against the state of La Republic. because Ayijo annexed us for their continued it. Kamto will still continue, or whosoever. We are defending our own territory. Yes. Let no one come out there and say that, we have to be one and this. I heard Pastor Victor said we have things like palm wine and all the like. We cannot transform all those. We should look for people who can transform all those things. I said all those things are as a failure for us to transform palm wine and the rest is because of the government policies. We had a school like Ombe that was there. La Republic closed it. We have PWG, they closed it. You cannot even ship a container back home. They are going to take the container, you are going to pay triple the amount of money that you have. If you discover something, if you don't identify yourself like a CPDM person, the Republic government is not going to allow you to proceed with it. So there is no way that we can survive or maybe process our njama, our Irish potato, our palm oil, all those things, when we have control coming from Yaoundé, because they don't want us to do those things. That's the reason why we want our own country to decide, so that we can decide on what we want. All the banks that were in southern Cameroon were closed. The CDC and the CDC, all those kind of infrastructure that our fathers used to tell us, everything is down. So which means that these people don't like us. And that is the reason why we are saying that when you want to be an ethical person, you don't do something because you want to feel a big person. Do what the society is going to applaud you with. Do it with the society. That's why we say government for the people, by the people, and government of the people, by the people, for the people. Mm-hmm. But what they have in Yaoundé is not that. Obia is the head of the judiciary, the head of the military, the head of everything, executive, judiciary, and executive. So we cannot function with this kind of people. So that is exactly what I'm trying to explain here. I want to ask enablers who claim that we have to stay with La Republic. Let them tell us why they think we cannot survive as a sovereign state. Let them enabler tell us why in 1922 they said they should prepare us and La Republic for self-governance. Why did they come and give us a plebiscite and they did not give La Republic? Why did they come with a referendum? Why did La Republic come and annex our own country? So I want to also tell these same enablers, let them know that La Republic should be the one begging to live with us because we provide 62% of the GDP. There is nothing that we ship from La Republic into southern Cameroon. Life is very difficult in La Republic now because, not only because of Ukraine, before the Ukraine war started, because food used to come from southern Cameroon. I was selling in Marché Fundi in Yaoundé. The oranges that were sold in Marché Fundi in Yaoundé were brought in from Massy and all those kind of stuff. They don't have orange trees in Yaoundé. They don't have all those things. So why do our people think that we have to live in with them? Why do enablers think that La Republic gave international community gave La Republic 2 maps in 2010 that of southern Cameroon and this? So let me tell these coup plotters people that you are on the wrong track. You are on the wrong track because you believe in Chris Anu, who took our money. The money that you people, the coup plotters, you say you want grand action. He took $135,000 US. He gave it, I don't know, he took it and put it in his pocket. But now he is concealing the identity of the person that he gave the money to. He said it was a scam. The same Chris Anu prefer to conceal the identity of those who he claimed killed his brother, Phil Marshall. So he is now working with the enablers to kill his own family, to take Ambazonia money and all the like. Why is he also concealing the identity of those that he said they brought the CDC deal? Even Dr. Epa, they said there is no evidence and all those things. Our Anglo-Saxon system says that you are not guilty until you have been judged. The committee and the rest, they went and judged the president, and they said they impeached and removed him. Then later on, they say, oh, he had to come and defend himself. Now they say, oh, they don't even have evidences. That is not the kind of country we want to build. Sorry that I have taken a lot of time. Let everyone go and join the LG, their LGEs, and we fight and liberate Amazonia. We are not liberating individuals. We are not liberating groups. We are not liberating whosoever who said they have been there for 32 years. How much did they collect for 32 years from asylum papers? How much has gone to the prisoners? How much has gone to the refugees? How much has gone to buy material to the restoration forces? So that is why if you listen to Ayiba or Akwanga, or you listen to the committee and the rest, it means you are an Anglophile. Yes, the interim government is doing everything. They give accountability, they raise funds, they come out with all the figures, and they tell people that our enemy is La Republic. Our enemy is not Dr. Sako. Dr. Sako did not annex us. Yes, it's La Republic that annexed us. The restoration forces did not annex us. So I thank you plenty. Thank you. Sorry, say I don't take plenty time.
No, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We did for here for ethics commission, and we are actually talking about ethics for a nation that is evolving, that is emerging. And I think only the people who really feel and believe that they are ethically sound that are contributing to what we are talking here. All the number of people that you guys have mentioned, they cannot freely talk on ethics because this is not a part and parcel of them. And we want to say that those of you who are in the forum here and you are talking about this ethics, we are extremely, extremely happy because they can be a trace. Just call any of the persons that their names have been mentioned who are out there and let them come and talk on the ethical values of the Amazonia. I'm telling you that they will not have anything to say. Although there are some of them who are shameless and they can come in here and begin to mumble because in theory, anybody can talk theory. And so we want to really thank all the Amazonian people who have stood their grounds as far as this ethics is concerned. The lack of ethical values is why Agbobala, is why Chris Anu, is why all these people, Kometa and so on, whose names we mention on our ethical programs, to let the people know that if we are ethical enough, we must reprove and reprimand every wickedness that is out of ethics. And this can be verified. It can be verified. So we're not just making propaganda or just trying to tear down one another. We want Ambazonians to know that the reason why we are still hanging out here is as a result of these few fellows who have refused and rejected what our forefathers in our country, Amazonia, in those days, actually held as a pivot to drive home whatever development and whatever institutions we saw in our place. It was as a result of ethics. And today, when the ethics are not there, we find where we are. So with a few minutes that we have ahead of us, I just want you again, all of you in the panel, to just take one minute and make a concluding statement, and we'll call it quit for today. Meanwhile, thank you very much, UN, for calling in and then sharing your mind. All right, Dr. Tom, over to you. A minute to make your concluding statements, and we are rounding up.
Thank you, Mr. Commando. Well, fellow Ambazonians, there are just 2 or 3 words, things to describe ethics. truthfulness, honesty, accountability. And if you claim you are having some parallel structure to the People's Interim Government, you claim you are having a group, which is the leadership in Ambazonia and all that, that in itself is already something unethical. And you don't want to come and then talk with the People's Interim Government, those who control 13 counties and 61 LGAs, all of them, to whom they are all accountable and to whom they all listen. Then somehow, you are just setting up yourself to be, I don't know, you are some warmonger. And remember, what will tomorrow's Ambazonia talk about you? What will your own children, what will our children, our children's children say about you? This is a defining moment in our history, in the history of our revolution that has been ongoing for over 60 years. We are closest to our independence today more than ever before. It is palpable, it can be touched, can be felt. So we will soon have our independence. So by your actions now and today, you decide where you stand in our history books and in the eyes of our children and our grandchildren. So do the right thing, come to the fold, come to the People's Interim Government, led by President Sako Ikome Samuel. You say, okay, I don't recognize that man as my president. Good. Come to Team Act, Team Ambazonia. You don't recognize the People's Interim Government. Come and collaborate. Come and bring to the table what you have. And not just sit around there and be rambling and doing your own thing and then bullying people around and kidnapping and doing all sorts of terrible things. Just know you will be accountable to the ICC for whatever is being done today. So come into the family. Let us do this together. We are all game to La Republique. They want to kill all of us. Let us all come into one boat and then work things out. Because come to think of it, when we go to Boya, there will be one parliament, one building where we all will be inside to talk about things. So not to be able to come to that one table now to talk already, that proves how immature you are and how unfit you are to govern the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. So those things are just common sense, and our ethical guidelines, which we follow, will keep us away from such things. And no, you are delaying our independence. So come to the fold if you want peace, if you want genuine collaboration, if you are truly for the people of Amazonia who have faith in this People's Interim Government, then come and let us talk. Everything can be talked about and solved, unless you have a different agenda than we who want the total independence of our Federal Republic of Amazonia. Thank you.
So, thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much. Thank you for that concluding statement from your part. We'll go over to Comrade Tanshi to give us his remarks, his closing remarks for all that has been said here. Over to you, Comrade. Comrade Tanshi? All right, Dr. Victor, you can go ahead.
Thank you.
And then give us your concluding statement.
Thank you, Pastor Commando. Thank you, Dr. Ndola and Comrade Peter. It was a pleasure being with you people on the program today. What I want to tell the people from Amazonia is it was not you that began the war. Therefore, you cannot end it. La Republique that began the war will end the war. And because they began it rationally without even taking into stock what it will cost them, God will cause them to suffer a great loss for them to stop the war if they don't want to stop it now. And so what am I trying to let Ambazonians know? We've heard this throughout around the world. It's our own turn to go through it. But one thing I have seen around the world is that I have not seen one country that after suffering what we've been through, they didn't come up better than what they are. I know we will be better than what we are now. And I want you to know that I just feel led in my spirit to give this word to anybody that fell on the way. You may have been convinced by the loud voice of Anu and you thought it was correct. You may have been convinced by the loud voice of the commentators and the rest and you thought they were correct. You may have been convinced by the eloquent speeches of Ayabacho and you thought he was on the right track. Now that you know the truth, now that your eyes are open to the truth, why not act like the prodigal son? Return home. We still have the pictures of 27 September, when you all came out in March, all the streets of Amazonia were filled. That was your vote for freedom. I don't care what has happened now. You've been corrupted, you're giving some money, your life is threatened, so you've withdrawn yourself. But you voted already for a free Amazonia. Those pictures tells us this whole story. And as I was saying to some of you that got caught up on the way to be deceived by these coup plotters, you now know the truth, that they are for no good for us. You could, maybe some of you listen to Paul Nilon today, what the things he exposed there. You now see that the Anu's cabal is of no good to us. The Ayabas are no good to us. You can come back home by joining your LGA and supporting the revolution. It will soon come to an end. Don't say, had I known, I would have joined. Because nothing that starts will ever remain without ending. It may, no matter how bad it is now, there is always going to be an end, because there's a God who is in control of human hearts. And the same God is the one who gives breath to people to breathe. The Diamis of old are no more there. The Sankaras, think of any wicked ruler that has ever ruled, they are no more there, because God has a final time for them. So stand up for your people, the people from Amazonia. You are a rich people in everything, in culture, in intelligence, in resources, in minerals. We are so much a blessed country, but the devil is trying to stop us from enjoying our blessings. But we're saying that that time has come to an end. Thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. See you again next Friday for another edition of the program. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Okay,
Thank you
our
very
second
much,
off-air.
Dr. Victor. Thank you, Dr. Victor. Is Comrade Tanshi Peter around now?
Yeah, our second off-air. Can you hear me now?
Oh, wow.
Hello?
You got frozen. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. We are all ears.
Okay, yeah, I know we are both time, but I'll limit it to one sentence. Now, I was very touched when I think Pastor Pastor Victor was talking about our produce, how to preserve and process them. I just want to say one thing. Ethically, we would um, revive our education and mentality, because that is what ethics is, changing of the mentality of our people, so that the education that we give to our people, which says you grow and sell, or you dig and sell, that is archaic. We would grow, process before selling. We will dig, process before selling. So I just want to do it ethically. We change the ethics of the economy, and that's it. That is just my one word. When we get to Boya, we will do all that. All the other, please, like join your LGAs. Please do that. Thank you for listening. That is it. Is it for me for this week, and see you next week.
Thank you very much, Comrade Peter Tanshi. Unfortunately, You were frozen when we called on you, but you have said the last word. God bless you and have a wonderful weekend. People of Ambazonia, it is at this point that we draw close of the program Ethics for an Emerging Nation, and especially today the recap and remarks of what has happened with all the 13 counties that have been talking on ethics for an emerging LGA and emerging county. We will not go without letting you know that tomorrow is Saturday, the 6th of August, 2022. Boyo will be on the flashlight and will invite all Ambazonians to come in and join Boyo for the draft, because something is about to happen again in Boyo. On that note, we say good night and God bless the people of Ambazonia. Thank you.